Draft night day 2 on Newswatch 12 wrapped up earlier tonight, and we're through the first 3 rounds. Wide receivers went off the board quickly to start, and then the first Division II player ever selected in the first 3 rounds went 5th in round 2. A lot to get to and cover tonight. Cameron Derby is also in the studio as we practice our social distancing, but continue to work hard to bring you the latest. We'll hear from him in just a bit. The Seattle Seahawks had a pair of picks today between the second and third rounds. Initially, they had 2 picks in the second round, but traded down. And after a few Seahawks fans were notably befuddled by their first-round pick of Jordan Brooks, the 12th man can rest easy. You got your pass rusher. It's 6'4", 267-pound defensive end Darrell Taylor. ESPN ranks him as the 7th best edge rusher, but Pete Carroll and John Schneider, they like the raw talent they see in the Tennessee Volunteer. He actually played outside linebacker while at Tennessee last season, but collected 8.5 sacks. While not exactly considered a polished product, his explosiveness off the line is something the Seahawks really like in this player. And with the trade down into the third round, the Seahawks filled a need along their offensive line. Seattle picked up LSU's Damian Lewis with the 69th overall pick, the second best guard in the draft class, who is an absolute bully on the O-line. Pretty solid pickup there for Seattle, and they'll likely look to Lewis to start this season. After 2 picks in the middle of the first round, the Raiders sat back and prepared for round 3, where they had 3 picks. 2 of those picks back-to-back at 16 and 17 in the third round. With those picks, the Raiders acquired a couple of offensive weapons on their way over to Las Vegas. One of them in the Swiss Army knife of offensive talent, Kentucky's Lynn Bowden Jr. He can do it all at Kentucky. He finished the year as the Wildcats quarterback after spending most of his time as a slot receiver. He's elusive after the catch, and scouts say he has great vision down the field, a potent combo. Bowden has also been awarded the Paul Hornig Award, which is given to the most versatile player in college football. Very next pick, Raiders select the 3rd wide receiver they've got in this draft, Bryan Edwards. 6'3" wideout that is described as a smooth route runner, and he's fast. While he's no downfield burner, Edwards has shown the ability to make some highlight reel catches. And then the Raiders traded down with New England in the 3rd round, getting a 4th-round pick in return. With that later 3rd-round pick, the Raiders filled another need in their secondary with Clemson's Tanner Muse, a speedy and physical safety out of the ACC. San Francisco was relaxing today. No picks on day 2 of the draft. So with that recap in mind, where are all these players going to fit in on their new teams? Well, that's where our friend Cameron Derby comes in. He's been in his own draft war room today, breaking down the local picks. Cameron, where do you see some of these young bucks fitting in?
Well, Josh, you're certainly right about my little war room I had going. The Niners may have been relaxing today, but I certainly wasn't. I want to start by focusing on the Niners' bitter rival Seattle Seahawks and what they did today. Pete Carroll seems very focused on getting some competition going on that offensive line. The Seahawks go with Damian Lewis, as Josh mentioned, an offensive lineman that protected Joe Burrow, the #1 pick this year. The Seahawks have been making move after move for linemen in free agency. This line looks to be rebuilt and revamped. Russell Wilson got sacked 48 times and hit 111 times this year. I think this guy can fit into the competition for a spot very quickly, and this is already an offensive line where pieces move frequently. I think he'll fit in nicely there. And how could Raider fans not be excited about the competition cooking in the wide receiver room? 2 wide receivers back-to-back. In the 2nd round, the Raiders had the 12th most receiving yards in the league this year, but they play in a division with a speedy offense that belongs to the Kansas City Chiefs. And if you know John Gruden, you know he loves competition. These guys could very well play, and very well play right away. Lynn Bowden Jr., a great slot talent, versatile, very easy to cook up trick plays with him. He spent half the season last year playing quarterback for Kentucky. We've got an article on KDRV.com that has all the moves our regional teams made today. Go check that out. For right now, some big news out of Klamath Falls. With that, I send it back to Josh.